So again, a very good morning to all of you. I hope all of you are good and safe at your place and enjoying good health. So we are just on the verge of completing the chapter, that is tribal bhikkhus and bhikkhus and the vision of golden age. Okay. So I want to know from you now, what have you understood in the chapter till now? I want to know about your understanding. Raise your hands, those who wants to speak. What have you understood till now in the chapter? You can only raise hand, you cannot unmute. Yes, Mahip, always at the front warrior he is. Yes, Mahip.
Ma'am, in this chapter, ma'am, we can see that earlier tribal people were living their life in their own
Can
way.
you
They
speak
had
little
their own.
louder? Little
Ma'am,
louder.
I'm saying that earlier tribal people lived their own lifestyle. They had their own customs, traditions, and their own gods. But ma'am, when these Britishers came, they and other outsiders, they all collaborated to suppress them, and it changed them a lot.
Yes.
They had to settle, and they were crushed by debt, and uh, many customs were also changed. They were exploited a lot.
Yes. Especially mention the forest laws. So very harsh forest laws were introduced by the Britishers, which were not in the favor of the tribal people. So what we saw in this chapter is that what was the way of living of the tribal people before the arrival of the Britishers. They were happy, they were doing their shifting cultivation, some were hunter-gatherers, some were cattle herders, some were doing settled cultivation also. And what happened after the Britishers when they came, so they tried to suppress them. Okay, they tried to dominate them because it is their, you can say, what to say, what word is that? Uh, it means this was the purpose for what they came to India. Okay, they wanted to rule India, so they were not leaving any of the section of the society. We have seen in the first chapter, then how they came, then rural side also, then now tribal areas. So then they introduced some harsh laws and they interfere in the lives of the tribal people. So we have studied that how the lives of the tribal people were affected by the Britishers. Okay, so what happened? Slowly and consequently, tribal chiefs lost their power, they lost their land, lost their authority also. Shifting cultivators were not allowed to move freely in the forest. Forest laws were introduced. In that, some were declared as state property, some forests were reserved forests, and they were not allowed to go there. But still, there was continuous protest also by the tribal people. They were doing the illegal activities, they were going into the forests, and they were doing all those things. Okay, so but then the Britishers realized that if they will completely stop or they will completely restrict the tribal people from entering the forest, so then it is their loss also. Why it is their loss? Because they wanted labor for the laying of the railway sleepers. Okay, and who will transport the logs from the forest. So they wanted tribal people also as labor, so that's why they relaxed some of the rules, so that they gave them some patch of land. Okay, you can go there and do your shifting cultivation, वहाँ पे जाके कर लेना. Okay, but still the people, the tribal people, they were not happy at all. Okay, so then what happened after forest laws? Problem with the trade also came. Trade also, the middlemen, the traders, money lenders, they were the profit makers. Okay, genuinely the tribal people were working hard, but they were not getting paid for what they deserved. Okay, they were rearing the cocoons for the silk, but traders were coming and they were buying it for rupees or 4 or 5, and they were selling it 5 times the price. Okay, so they were in huge loss. So that's why all these things happened. So that made them to search for some other work. because they were not getting their proper livings from the things which they were doing under the British rule or under the traders and moneylenders. So then they inclined towards tea plantation in Assam, and then coal mining also. Okay, वहाँ पे चले गए काम करने के लिए, but there also the conditions were harsh. Why were the conditions harsh? Because they were not getting paid properly, and moreover, what happened that they were not allowed to go back to their families. Okay, so once they go there and they said that abhi aap yahin pe kaam karo, if you will go, then your job will also be gone. Okay, so this was there. Then the last part we were doing about the special reference on Birsa Munda. Okay, so Birsa Munda, I told you that he was born in mid 1870s, and then how he grew up. He grew up around the forest of Bohanda, and he was raising sheep, playing the flute, dancing in the local akhada. And when he was young, he could not do anything, but he could only observe the things that was happening around him. Okay, so then what happened? They saw themselves, what he observed that the people of the tribes, means the tribal people, they were continuously protesting the Britishers. They were not happy with them. Why were they not happy? Because all these things happened. The local missionaries ho gaye, jo Vaishnav preachers ho gaye, they were trying to change the lives of the tribal people. हर एक जो ये ट्राइबल जो डिकूज थे, जो आउटसाइडर्स थे. Arush, why are you showing this smiley? Okay, so these all these people who were considered as Dikus, who were Dikus? Dikus were the outsiders, not only the Britishers, but other people also who were exploiting the tribal people, जो उनको exploit कर रहे थे, who wanted to change the tribal people, who wanted to interfere in the lives of the tribal people. Those were Dikus, and Dikus were traders, money lenders, missionaries, Vaishnav preachers. Okay, they all were Dikus for the tribal people because they wanted to ruin the life, the way of life the Mundas were leading their lives. Okay, so Birsa was deeply influenced. Now I'm reading from third paragraph. Birsa was deeply influenced by many of the ideas he came in touch with him in his growing up years. So all these ideas like missionaries, though they used to teach good things, but somehow they wanted to convert the tribal people into Christians. वो बोलते थे तुम लोग Christians बन जाओ, we will give you land, we will give you everything. Okay, so that was not you can say acceptable by the tribal people. So all these ideas somehow affected Birsa Munda somewhere. Okay, his movement was aimed at reforming tribal society. He wanted to change the tribal society, but in a good way. Birsa Munda also wanted to change, but he wanted the same past which was there. उनका जो glorious past था, जो उनकी golden age थी, where they were happy and they were doing what they wished to do. So he urged the Mundas to give up drinking liquor, कि पीना छोड़ दो, शराब पीना, पानी पीना नहीं, शराब पीना छोड़ दो, clean their village and stop believing in witchcraft and sorcery. कि काला जादू जो भी है, what all the things, the superstitions were there, you should stop believing in that. But we must remember that Birsa also turned against missionaries and Hindu landlords. Okay, missionaries के against क्यों हो गया बिरसा मुंडा? Because I told you that they wanted to convert them into Christians. उनको Christians बनाना चाहते थे वो. And Hindu landlords के against क्यों हुआ? Because they were also exploiting them. जो Hindu landlords थे वो भी उनको बोलते थे कि हमारी फील्ड में तुम लोग काम करो, but they were not paying them enough. So that's why he saw them as outside forces that were ruining the Munda way of life. So all these things were ruining the Munda way of life. In 1895, Birsa urged his followers to recover their glorious past. So what was the glorious past? The vision of a golden age. The last topic is that. Okay, vision. Golden age means Satyug, the age of truth, when Mundas lived a good life, constructed embankments, tapped natural springs, planted trees and orchards, practiced cultivation to earn their living. They did not kill their brethren. कभी एक दूसरे को मारते नहीं थे वो and relatives. They lived honestly. Birsa also wanted people to once again work on their land, settle down and cultivate their fields. ठीक है, तो उनको अपना वही ओल्ड जो गोल्डन एज थी उनका वो उनको चाहिए था. ओके, दैट दे वांटेड टू एस्पायर टू गेट बैक दैट गोल्डन एज वंस अगेन. What worried British officials most was the political aim of the Birsa movement. Now, what was the political aim of the Birsa movement? क्या था उनका political aim? Political aim was this only. Yes, Arush.
Ma'am, their main aim was to kick out the moneylenders, Vaishnavas, Britishers, merchant traders out of the country.
Yes, but first of all, tell me why were you smiling? Be fast, we don't have time. You are mute. Unmute yourself first and tell me fast, why were you smiling? Okay, so yes, political aim of the Birsa movement was to drive out the missionaries को निकाल देना, money lenders को निकाल देना, Hindu landlords को निकाल देना, and the government means here British government, and set up a Munda Raj with Birsa at its head. Okay, so he wanted to be the head of the Birsa community and he wanted Munda Raj over there. The movement identified all these forces as the cause of the misery the Mundas were suffering. कि जो Mundas की जो pity condition थी उस time पे, so उसका cause कौन था? Who was the reason behind that? All these people, they were the reason behind the pity condition, the merciful condition of the Mundas. So that was the political aim of the Birsa movement. Now come to the next page. The land policies of the British were destroying their traditional land system. So again they are telling that how these outsiders, who were outsiders? Dikus. Outsiders, how they were affecting the lives of the tribal people. What they did, the land policies of the British were destroying their traditional land system. ठीक है, जो उनका land system था उसको destroy कर रहे थे. Britishers came and they started claiming their lands. Hindu landlords and money lenders were taking over their land. वो भी उनको जो उनका land था उसको हड़प रहे थे. They were taking over. And missionaries were criticizing their traditional culture. So missionaries who wanted the Christian rule, who wanted them to be converted into Christians, they were also criticizing their traditional culture. So all were somewhere they were affecting the lives of the tribal people. As the movement spread, the British officials decided to act. So जैसे जैसे ये जो बिरसा movement है, it headed on, जो बढ़ती गई, it became on a big level. So then Britishers also they decided to act. उनको लगा कि now this is going to be bad. So situation is not going to be under our control. So we need to act now. So they decided to act, and what they did, they arrested Birsa. Underline this line. They arrested Birsa in 1895. 1895 में बिरसा को अरेस्ट कर लिया गया. Convicted him on the charges of rioting. कि दंगे फसाद करने के लिए उसके चार्जेस लगा दिए उसके ऊपर, and jailed him for 2 years. कहानी खत्म? No, this is not the end. Okay, so for 2 years he was jailed, but this is not the end. So when he came back from the jail, when Birsa was released in 1897, he began touring the villages to gather support. So again, his willpower was not down. He again came back with a boom, and then he went to the villages to gather support. He used traditional symbols and language to rouse people. उसने लोगों को फिर से उकसाना शुरू कर दिया, urging them to destroy Ravan. Who was Ravan there? Now this, underline this line. Who is referred to as Ravan here? Ravan were the Dikus and the Europeans. Okay, Dikus, moneylenders, traders, Hindu landlords, Christians, they were all Dikus, and Europeans were the Britishers. And established a kingdom under his leadership. Birsa's followers began targeting the symbols of Diku and European power. So now their main target was to destroy the Dikus and the European power. They attacked the police stations and churches and raided the property of moneylenders and zamindars. They raised the white flag as a symbol of Birsa Raj. Underline this line. One more question can be asked from this. That which flag was a symbol of Birsa Raj? White flag. Okay, so they raised the white flag as a symbol of Birsa Raj. In 1900, Birsa died of cholera. Now this was the end. Okay, this was the end of the Birsa movement, and he was very young when he died. Can you calculate his age? What was his age when he died? So when was he born? He was born in mid 1870s. He was born in 1870s and he died in 1900. So can you tell me what was the age of Birsa Munda when he died? Yes, Nishka?
30.
Yes, how much?
30.
Yes, only 30 years. So 30 is too young. Mahib 24, how? How 24?
मैम वो अलग अलग पता नहीं स्टडीज हुई होंगी क्या पता
Yes. It is 30. So, see, you can say the age 30 is nothing. It's very young. It's too young age. So, you can see, you can yourself imagine that how energetic he was, that he roused the people, he gathered the support, and people used to follow him also. Otherwise, it is very difficult to gather people. If I say that, chalo, chalo, mere saath, chalo, sare movement karenge, Birsa, protest karenge, so then who will go? Okay, so that's why you need to have that quality in you that people should believe in you, people should trust you, people should follow you. So that's why he was powerful in his own way. So, but he died at the age of 30 because of cholera and the movement faded out. So you know कि जब leader ही नहीं रहेगा तो movement कौन lead करेगा? So that's why it faded out. However, the movement was significant in at least two ways. But we cannot ignore the movement also because it was on a big level. And why was it important? They said that there are two ways by which this movement was important. Underline this line. First, it forced the colonial government to introduce laws so that the land of the tribals could not be easily taken over by British. So जो laws जो Britishers ने बनाए थे उन्होंने force कर दिया, this movement forced the colonial rule to introduce कि कुछ ऐसे laws लेके आओ कि जिनसे जो है जो Dikus थे, जो traders, moneylender, landlords थे, वो tribal people का land ना ले सके. Okay. Wikipedia outpost also died date of 24. Okay, maybe there is some discrepancy, then either book can be wrong or what is there. Okay, chalo, almost 24 to 30, but that's too young. Okay. Yes, so this was the first reason that it forced the Britishers to change the laws so that the land cannot be taken over. And secondly, it showed once again that the tribal people had the capacity to protest against injustice and express their anger against colonial rule. So it is said that we should not underestimate anything. We should not underestimate even a small person also, small animal also. So same thing happened. They also proved themselves. उन्होंने अपने आप को prove किया that tribal people के पास भी capacity है to protest against injustice and express their anger against colonial rule. They did this in their own specific way, inventing their own rituals and symbols of struggle. Okay, so this is how the chapter ends here. Okay. So any doubt in the chapter? Anything you want me to repeat or anything that you didn't understand? Because we are over with the chapter. Okay, you can raise hand and you can speak. Okay, I'll allow you to unmute. Yes, Arush, what?
मैम जब मैं कह रहे थे कि वो हाथ स्माइलिंग वाला स्टिकर भेजा है मैम तब मैम जैसे मैम जब मीटिंग में हम एंटर होते हैं मैम, तब माइक कनेक्ट करना पड़ता है ना मैम, तभी आपकी आवाज आती है मैम। मैं वो करने लगा, आप स्टिकर ही भेजोगे।
Okay, it's by mistake it is. That's fine. It's okay.
Yes.
I thought something stuck into your mind that you are laughing. So I wanted you to share in the class also so that we can also have some fun time. Okay, anyways. Yes, please. The chapter is over. Any doubt from your side? Or did you understand the crux of the chapter? That what is there in the chapter? I hope it is clear. Okay, how many of you understood the chapter? Raise your hands. Something that you understood from the chapter. Raise your hand if you understood it. Let me see how many hands comes. Okay, very good. Yes. Arush, Sisiya, Tanishka, Jannat, Mahib, Sehaj, Ashley, Yashpreet, Manjot, Nivi, Nishka, Prabnoor, Jashandeep, Amandeep, Vidya, Alia, Priya, Amandeep, Diya, Prabnoor. Okay. Mansimar. What about others? Those who have not raised their hands? Ishmeet also raising hand. Good. Diksha. What about Araf, Alicia, Aman, Bhavya, Deepak, Esha, Harjeet? Jay is also raising hand. Okay. So majority is there who understood and some are there who are not interested in raising the hands or nothing they want to show. Okay. That's good if you have understood. Now come to the back exercises. Let us see. Let us check your understanding. So first are the blanks. First one, only raise hands. Okay, nobody will prompt the answer. Only raise hands. I will ask you to unmute. First one, the British described the tribal people as dash. All clear your hands, please lower your hands. Only for the answers now the hands should be raised. Only for the answers. Okay, Manjot. Yes, Manjot, can you answer? Manjot, can you answer? Not interested? Okay, then
The tribal people as peasants.
please speak louder.
The British describe the tribal people as peasants.
Peasants? No, not the peasants. Okay, Jay Gupta.
As wild and savage.
Yes, Mahib also writing in the chat box, or you can write in the chat box also. I'll come to know. Okay, so wild and savage. Can you tell me the meaning of savage? Wild is okay, like wild animals, because you know they were always on move, moving from one place to another in the forest for search of something or the other thing. And what do you mean by savage? SAVAGE. Anyone?
मैम violent.
Yes, violent means not civilized person. Civilized means a sober